"Hello Daddy, where are you?" Samson screamed. "Samson, what is going on? Are you okay?" Mark curiously asked. "Daddy, please come to the house right now." "What is going on, my prince? Please come quickly, Daddy." "There is a serious problem," Samson said fearfully. Mark quickly ended the phone call. "Timothy, please, I am coming." "Mark, what is going on?" "Samson told me that there is a serious problem in the house and that I should come home right away." Immediately after the king ordered the youth to burn Mama Jude, Samson, who was in his room crying and thinking about late Deborah, whom he innocently killed, slept off. And immediately after he slept off, he had a terrible dream and saw Deborah crying heavily. "Samson, if anything happens to Mama Jude, I will never forgive you and Mommy, and my spirit will never rest." "Samson, tell Daddy what you did to me right now," Deborah said as she disappeared, and Samson awoke fearfully and began feeling Deborah's presence when Mark arrived at Timothy's house. After he left the palace angrily, he sat on the ground and began weeping silently. "Mark, please tell me how it went." "Timothy, I told you that my family would leave no stone unturned until the woman is executed. But why didn't you tell them that you wanted the woman in prison rather than executed?" "My father and the king disagreed, so I decided to leave the palace." "This is extremely complicated. Do you believe the woman actually killed your daughter?" "Timothy, I do not believe it because Deborah and the woman were very friendly and I don't think the woman could have killed Deborah." "Well, you have done your best. Now let God do the impossible." "May God have mercy on the poor woman," Timothy responded. And as they were conserving, Mark received a call from Samson. "Hello Daddy, where are you?" Samson screamed. "Samson, what is going on? Are you okay?" Mark curiously asked. "Daddy, please come to the house right now." "What is going on, my prince? Please come quickly, Daddy." "There is a serious problem," Samson said fearfully. Mark quickly ended the phone call. "Timothy, please, I am coming." "Mark, what is going on?" "Samson told me that there is a serious problem in the house and that I should come home right away." "And Samson is the only one in the house." "What?" "Let us go quickly," Timothy said as he rushed out of the parlor and drove recklessly to Mark's house. When he arrived at the parlor, "What happened, Samson?" "Daddy, Deborah appeared to me in a dream and told me to tell you what I did to her." "So, what did you do to Deborah?" Mark asked desperately. "Daddy, I was the one who killed Deborah, not Mama Jude." "What? Jesus Christ, Samson, how did you kill Deborah?" "Daddy, I used Mommy's knife to kill her. It was Mommy who told me to lie to you." "Daddy, do not get anything to happen to Mama Jude. Because Deborah said if anything happened to Mama Jude, she will never forgive me. And Mommy and her spirit will never rest." "Where did you kill your beloved sister?" Mark asked with teary eyes. "Mark, you heard what Samson said. Let us save Mama Jude's life before we find out what happened that fateful day," Timothy said. They then took Samson and drove recklessly to the palace. When they arrived at the palace, Mark asked loudly, "Where is Mama Jude?" "The youth has taken her away to burn her alive." "Is there any problem?" Maria asked. "I was the one who killed Deborah, not Mama Jude. She was not even present when I killed Deborah in the kitchen. I wanted to tell Daddy the truth, but my mommy threatened to kill me if I told him or anyone else what I did to Deborah." Samson revealed, and there was a lot of crumbling in the palace. So, after the youth poured fuel all over Mama Jude's body and were about to light fire to burn her alive, the palace chief guard rushed out of a car and screamed, "No! Stop! She's innocent!" And the youth were shocked. They then took Mama Jude to the palace. Samson began to explain what happened on the day Deborah died. Deborah and I were imitating what we saw in the movie we watched with Mommy a night before Deborah died, and we used Mommy's knives, and while we were imitating, Deborah injured me and it was very painful, so it's safe to use my knife to stab her in her stomach, and she fell on the ground just like the uncle in the movie we watched, and I called her several times but she refused to answer, and I tried to wake her up so that we could finish our breakfast. But she did not move her body, let alone respond to me. Maria, so you are the cause of my daughter's death, Mark said as he rushed to strangle Maria. But they stopped him. Samson, did Mama Jude know you had killed your sister? The king asked. No, it was only Mommy that was away because I told her everything I did to Deborah and I didn't tell Mama Jude. Where was Mama Jude when you killed your sister? She was cleaning our room when I killed Deborah, and I even used my mom's phone to film Deborah and me imitating in the kitchen, intending to show it to Daddy when he returned. Where is the video that Samson mentioned? The king asked. I didn't see any video. Maria stopped. My God! The king called. Yes, Your Majesty. The chief palace guard responded. Take the phone from her and thoroughly searched for the video. And when Jack collected the phone, he found the video. And Maria suddenly realized that the video had not been permanently deleted. They then gave the phone to the king and the king began watching the video, and after which he passed it to everyone. And when everyone finished watching the video, the king said, Mama Jude, go ahead and decide what you want us or the youth of this kingdom to do to Maria for falsely accusing you of killing Deborah. Say whatever you want us to do, and it will be granted to you. Thank you very much, Your Majesty. Please, Your Majesty. I won't go to continue fighting my battle, and all I desire is to leave this kingdom today. That is all, Mama Jude responded. You mean after everything Maria puts you through, you want to let her go free? Yes, Your Majesty. She is like my daughter and I do not want to aggravate her pains. So, I have forgiven her. You are a wonderful woman and your type is as rare as sensitive. Thank you, Your Majesty. Your Majesty. What is your verdict on this little boy who killed his sister? Oh no, the Prime Minister asks. Well, we are all fully aware of the laws of this land, and since no one is above the law, the boy must be executed for killing royal blood. Your Majesty, did you just say that my only surviving child would be executed for innocently killing his sister? Mark asked angrily. I did not say it, but it is the law that governs this land. What kind of stupid law is that? David, my grandson will never be executed. What does the little boy know? Mark's dad asked Chief Chika, why are you speaking as if you are unaware of the customs and traditions of this land? The boy must be executed so that there can be peace in this kingdom, one of the king's cabinet members said. Please, Your Majesty, let the youth burn her alive and let Samson live, Mama Jude exclaimed. That is completely unacceptable. The boy must be executed, the king said. I can never sit and watch my only surviving child die because of this stupid law, not while I am still alive, Mark said. Please, Your Majesty, should the youth stone or burn the boy alive? The youth leader asked, and Mark angrily rushed to his car, carried his gun, and touched to the palace. If you are bold enough, touch my son. Please calm down, Timothy said. Timothy, just stay out of this. And while they were interacting badly, the chief priest walked in and said, the thunder that rumbles in silence strike with mighty force when the time comes. Greetings, great people of the Odudu kingdom. Greetings, our chief priest, they responded. The hidden stone in the riverbed has finally revealed by the flowing waters of truth. The ghost has finally spoken. There is a deep mystery surrounding Chika's family and the ghost has finally revealed it. Please, Chief Priest, tell us the mystery because my family is on fire right now. Mark's father pleaded. The secret buried in the grave has risen with the spirit of the dead. Eyes of the gods, you speak in parables, please speak to us in a language that we can understand, Maria's father pleaded. The innocent soul who died and her brother are not royal blood. Your mother is aware of what I'm talking about. What do you mean by they are not real blood? Mark curiously asked. The shadow that hid the truth has eventually run away from the light. Son of Chika, this little boy and his late sister are not your children. You were destined to have only 2 children and you had them before marrying your wife. And the children and their mother are still alive. Chief Priest. We are extremely confused right now. Can you review this mystery? We are desperate to know, the king asked. Your Majesty, that's all the gods have revealed to me. The daughter of Emeka is in the best position to review the mystery because she's aware of what she did. A moment later, a young man named Philip went to Mark's house in search of Maria. When he arrived, the guardman informed him that Maria had gone to the palace, and Philip drove directly to the palace. Maria, what do you have to say about what the chief priest said? The king asked. Your Majesty, I have no idea about what the chief priest is talking about. I believe someone bribed him to come and ruin my marriage and tarnish my reputation, Maria replied fearfully. How dare you speak to a great chief priest of this kingdom in such a manner? Are you insane? The Prime Minister asked angrily. I honestly do not believe what the chief priest said because I know what my daughter is capable of and what she's not capable of, Maria's dad said. Exactly. Maria's mom affirmed, and while they were arguing with the chief priest, Philip walked in, and when Maria saw him, she became extremely scared and attempted to hide her face. Jesus! What is Philip doing here? I am finished. Please, I want to use the restroom. Maria excused fearfully. Woman, sit down. You are not going anywhere until the case on the ground is resolved. Mark said as he stopped Maria from going to the restroom. Who is this young man, Your Majesty? Oh no, who asked? Who are you, young man? The king asked. My name is Philip, Your Majesty, and I came to see Maria. Please, Maria, I would like to discuss something very significant with you privately. Mr. Man, stand here and discuss whatever you want with her. She's not going anywhere, Mark said. No, I cannot discuss anything with her here. Philip replied. Then she's not going anywhere with you. She's my wife. I did not understand. Did you just say Maria is your wife? Maria, when did you marry? Because I know you are a single mother of 2 children. Philip asks confusedly. Who are you, young man? And what is your mission here? Maria's dad asks. Sir, my name is Philip and Maria knows me well, so I came here to carry what is rightfully mine and to end the deal I made with Maria, which is why I am here, Philip explained. What type of deal are you talking about? Maria understands what I'm talking about, Philip said. Maria, who is this man? And what deal did you make with him? The king asked. Your Majesty, I do not know him. Yes, I do not know him, and I've never seen this type of face before. So, I do not know what he's talking about. Maria, did you just deny me in front of the king? In any case, that's not why I came. I came to inform you that I'm no longer interested in the game. So, I came to carry my 2 children, Samson and Deborah. Here is the money you paid me to get you pregnant, please. I am no longer interested in the deal. I am desperate for children. Philip said. Maria, can you explain what is going on here? Mark's dad asked, and Mark was looking at her angrily. Sir, I do not know this man, and I have no idea of what he is talking about. I believe someone paid him. Yes, I believe someone paid him to come and ruin my marriage. Maria stammered. Well, Maria, since you keep denying me and pretending that you do not know me, I will reveal everything to everyone here. And I will eventually carry my children, Philip said. Go ahead, young man, the king said. 6 years ago, I met Maria at the shopping center, and 3 months later, she invited me over to her house. And when I arrived, she told me she was a single lady, and she was not ready to settle down with any man. But she desperately needed someone to impregnate her. And she would pay the person 70 million naira. So, I accepted the offer because I was desperate for money. And a few months later, I got her pregnant. And she gave birth to Samson. 2 years after she gave birth to Samson, she invited me back to her house. And offered me 10 million naira to sleep with her to impregnate her again, which I gladly accepted. And a few months later, she gave birth to Deborah. After she gave birth to the girl, she offered me 30 million naira to keep the secret hidden forever. And I promised never to reveal it to anyone or return to claim the children. But the circumstances my wife and I are facing right now are completely out of our control. It has been over 5 years since I married my wife. And whenever she's pregnant, she miscarries, and she has miscarried over 20 times. And we have been to several hospitals to find out the causes of miscarriages, and all of the hospitals have said that there's nothing medically wrong with her. 3 days ago, my wife and I went to a certain spiritualist to reveal the mystery behind my wife's miscarriages. The spiritualist said the causes of my wife's miscarriages were as a result of the abomination. I committed with Maria, and because of that, I will never have a child again. And he eventually advised me to come today to claim my children, which is why I decided to come, Philip explained. Everyone in the palace was shocked and no one could see anything. Mark rushed to where Maria was sitting, intending to shoot her, but they stopped him. After that, the king began asking Maria questions. Maria, I believe you heard this young man clearly. Therefore, can you defend yourself? Please, Your Majesty, what that man said is not true. I do not even know him, let alone to do business with him. He is a setup, she said. Woman, if you claim to be innocent, step forward and say to prove it, the chief priest replied. I am innocent, Maria said. If you are certain that you are innocent, what are you waiting for? Say to prove yourself truly innocent, Mark's father said, and Maria couldn't hold her a word. She was weeping badly. Woman, you have only 5 minutes to confess or you will go mad mysteriously for the rest of your life, the chief priest said. I will confess. I will confess. Maria's mother. Go ahead. We are all listening. What Philip and the chief priest said is correct. Mark is not the biological father of Samson and Deborah. After 17 years of marriage without a child, I decided to visit a spiritualist to find out the mystery behind our childlessness. And when I went there, I explained everything to him and he spoke. Mark and Maria had been married for 17 years without having a child, and they had visited several hospitals, both abroad and at home, to figure out what was keeping them from having a child. But all of the hospitals concluded that they were medically fine. So, after visiting several hospitals and being unable to resolve their issues, they assumed their problem was brutal. And they went to several churches for deliverance. But all of the pastors stated that their problem was not ritual. Maria and Mark tried numerous godly and ungodly rituals and sacrifices to have a child, but they were unable to do so. Mark's family despised Maria bitterly because she was childless. And they had been accusing her of casting spells on Mark. So one day, Maria secretly visited a spiritualist. And when she arrived, she explained everything she went through to the spiritualist. And the spiritualist said, young lady, you will never have a child with your husband because it was destined to have 2 children and you already had the 2 children. Please sir, what can I do at this point? Because I do not want to lose my husband, Maria repeated. Woman, stop wasting your time in that marriage. It will not favor you because you are not destined to be his wife. That your best friend, whom you betrayed and made her life miserable, was destined to be his wife, not you. So, if you know what is best for you, tell him what you did in the past and divorce him immediately to avoid consequences in the near future. But if you ignore what I just told you and go the extra mile to have a child, you will remember what I just told you, either in the grave or in prison. You may go." Maria became extremely angry and frustrated. When she got home, she started thinking and planning how she will have a child because she was obsessed with Mark and did not want to leave him for any other woman. One day, Mark traveled abroad for a significant project, leaving his wife Maria at home. Immediately after Mark traveled, Maria began looking for a genuine man with whom she could sleep with in order to become pregnant before her husband returned. One day, he met Philip in a shopping mall, and they exchanged contacts. 2 weeks before Mark returned, Maria invited Philip to her matrimonial home. And when he arrived, she said, "Philip, I invited you here to discuss something very important. And I want to offer you a life-changing opportunity. Should I proceed?" "Yes, please go ahead." "I am all ears," Philip replied. "Philip, I want you to do something extremely important for me and I will pay you 70 million naira. "What is that, please?" Philip asked legally. "Philip, I am a single lady who is not ready for marriage because I am not ready to settle down with any man. But I would like you to do something for me." "Maria, please name it." "I will do anything for you." "Philip, I will pay you 70 million naira to sleep with me and get me pregnant because I am desperate to have a child. So, are you interested in the business?" "I am very interested, but there's one condition." "What is the condition, man?" "Before I give you the money and let you sleep with me, you must swear by this charm. That you never return to claim the child or disclose this secret to anyone." Maria said that she took out a mysterious charm from her handbag and handed it to Philip, who happily collected it and swore. Maria then transferred 5 million naira to him and promised to balance him 5 million as soon as she was pregnant, which made Philip very happy. So, from that day, Philip started sleeping with and got her pregnant. 2 weeks after Mark returned from abroad, Maria awoke one morning and told her husband she was experiencing strange feelings she could not explain, and Mark advised her to see a doctor. An hour later, Maria went to the hospital where the doctor examined her and informed her that she was pregnant. And when she returned home and told Mark, he was extremely happy and he lavishly celebrated his wife's pregnancy. A few months later, Maria gave birth to Samson. 2 years after she gave birth to Samson, he offered Philip 10 million naira and began sleeping with him again until she became pregnant, after which she gave birth to Deborah, and everything was going on well until Samson innocently killed Deborah. "Your Majesty, this is an abomination in our land and she must face the consequences." "Oh no," the Prime Minister said. "Maria, how could you bring such an unbearable shame on my family? I regretted giving birth to you," Maria's mom exclaimed. Mark was extremely sad. He cried uncontrollably in the palace, and his friend took him away. The king then delivered his verdict. "Maria, you have been permanently banished from this kingdom, and you will not leave with a pin, not even your phone, except the dresses you are putting on, and any day you return, you will be stoned to death. Youth, take her away and ensure she leaves this kingdom with nothing." And immediately after the youth took her away, Philip sadly left the palace. The following morning, Mama Jude returned to her hometown, and when she arrived home, she told her son Jude and her 2 other children, Justin and Justina, about everything that had happened. "We are glad you are back alive, Grandma," Justina said. "The woman must have been the Jezebel of our time. I pity her husband and the little boy. We could strengthen the innocent husband," Jude said. A moment later, Mark sat on the ground and began crying and lamenting how Maria had wasted years of his life. "Maria, wherever you are now, it will never be well with you for wasting my life. Where am I going to start? No children, no wife. Oh God, what have I done to deserve this kind of unbelievable heartbreak and pains, because this pain is too much for me. What about Samson? Will you let him go?" Timothy asks. "Our family does not accept an illegitimate child. Timothy, I am completely hopeless and grief-stricken right now. I do not understand why life has chosen to treat me this way." Mark exclaimed, "Mark, it is well, my man. I understand how you feel, but this is not the end of your life. As long as you are alive, there is still hope for you. I am confident that God has something greater than what you have lost for you." There are 2 Bible verses that I will never forget in my entire life. The first one says that everything in this world happens at the time God chooses, and the second one says that all things work together for good to those who trust in God, which simply means that in the midst of life's challenges and circumstances, God is working everything out for our good. So be strong, my man, because God is preparing you for greatness. Timothy consoled him. "Thank you so much, Timothy. I sincerely appreciate." "You are welcome. Mark, I suggest you leave this town for 2 to 3 months. I believe that everything will be in order by the time you'll be done." "I love this idea and I will implement it," Mark replied. A week later, Mark left the town, leaving Samson with his parents. 2 weeks later, Maria's family buried Deborah and Mama Jude's grandchildren, Justin and Justina, got admitted into a state university. One morning, Justin and Justina started asking their mother questions. "Mommy, now that your business has collapsed and our grandma is no longer working, who will pay our acceptance fees, school fees, rent, and all of the school supplies required to resume school?" "My daughter, the God who made it possible for you and your brother to pass JAM and be admitted to the university will certainly provide for us," Jude replied. "Mommy, how about our father? Where is he? Because you have never told us anything about him," Justin curiously asked. "Your father died mysteriously after accidentally getting me pregnant years ago, and he was not aware that I was pregnant with him," Jude replied. "What about his family?" Justina asked my presence. "I do not know any member of his family." "All is well, Mom. God will see us through," Justin stated. "Amen. I believe. Thank you, Mommy, for not abandoning us. We love you and we are proud of you. Mommy, do not worry. We will make you proud someday." 2 months later, Mark returned and everything was in order before he arrived. At night, Mark had a strange dream in which he was driving down the road when he saw a boy who looked exactly like him selling sachet water in the traffic. As he was about to rush out of his car to meet the boy, he woke up. And he suddenly remembered that the chief priest told him that he had 2 children before marrying Maria. The following morning, Mark went to the chief priest to ask him few questions about his 2 unknown children. "Chief priest, you told me I had 2 children before I married Maria. Where are they?" "There was a girl whom you accidentally impregnated without your knowledge many years ago, and she gave birth to twins who are all alive," the chief priest said. "Chief priest, I do not remember, but where are they? How can I find them? The ghosts have not yet revealed their identities to me, but they have assured me that they are alive." Mark then went to Timothy's house and revealed to him everything the chief priest had told him about his 2 unknown children as well as the dream he had. "Mark, I believe what the chief priest said is true. Do not worry, you will see them sooner or later," Timothy said. "Timothy, that's not something I believe will be possible. Mark, your biggest problem is a lack of faith. You don't have any at all. That is your problem. Have you heard from Mama Jude since you traveled?" "Yes, I spoke with her last week. Mama Jude is a very good woman. Despite everything my family has done to her, she called me several times and prayed for me. Mama Jude is a woman with a heart of gold, and I propose that we pay her a visit," Timothy said. "I plan we go with food items for her and her family. Set aside a day and let us go and visit her. She's worth your time." "Okay, we will go there this weekend. But do you know her home address?" "Yes, I still have her application letter with her home address." "Okay, we will go there this weekend." 4 days later, Mark and Timothy went to Mama Jude's town, and when they arrived at her house, Mama Jude was extremely happy to see Mark and his friend in her house. So, she called Jude, her daughter, to come and greet Mark. And when Jude came out and saw Mark, she screamed heavily. "Jesus Christ! Mommy, he is a ghost." "Jude, do you know him?" Mama Jude curiously asks. "Yes, Mom. I know him. He died years ago." What do you think will happen to both Mark and Jude? Let know your opinion on the comment. Thanks for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to be notified whenever we post the next episode. See you in the next episode.